So, Terence Bud Crawford, his pursuit of Canelo Alvarez continues. He's been ordered to be able to face Sebastian Fundora in a 3-belt unification fight. Let's talk about it in this video. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video, turn on your notifications. Catch me live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday night at 7:30. I'm also live every Sunday morning with the Singing OG KQKC Boxing Network. Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. I ask that you join the channel as a member. Drop super chats and super thanks when you come by the live streams and the videos that we do. And hit me up if you want to debate. The email address is knockoutboxing86@yahoo.com. Or you can just come by the channel while I'm live. We can debate right then and there. But let's get to it. So, Terence Bud Crawford. He continues to pursue Canelo Alvarez, while at the same time, Sebastian Fundora has been ordered to defend against Terence Bud Crawford. Now, a lot of people are assuming that this is a move made by Terence Bud Crawford, but based on what he has said publicly, based on what Turkey Al-Sheikh has said publicly, I'm not so sure, right? I don't know, and I can't tell based on the information that we have whether or not it's Terence Crawford forcing the WBO's hand, or whether it's the PBC forcing the WBO to order the fight between Terence Crawford and Sebastian Fundora, because Fundora and Crawford were already in negotiations, and obviously those negotiations didn't go well, or haven't haven't moved forward the way that somebody would like them to, and as a result the WBO has stepped in and ordered the fight. Now, why am I saying that I'm not so sure as a lot of people are? Because everybody just sure, oh, Terence Crawford made this move. Terence Crawford, he made this move. He made this move for Sebastian Fundora. Y'all say he bad business bud. But look at the moves he making. I'm not so sure this is a Terence Crawford move, because publicly he is saying that it's only Canelo Alvarez. It's only Canelo Alvarez. Same with Turkey Al-Sheikh, Terence Crawford's, promoter, so to speak. The guy that's, Terence Crawford has chose to attach his hip to, like Siamese twins. He says Terence Bud Crawford only wants to fight Canelo Alvarez. Even Sebastian Fundora's promoter, who, based on reports from me, and shout out to my homie L-Dub, Fundora's promoter was already trying to negotiate with Terence Crawford. And Sebastian Fundora's promoter came out this morning and said he doesn't even think Terence Crawford wants the Fundora fight, that Terence Crawford is prioritizing fighting Canelo Alvarez over Sebastian Fundora. To me, this is a bad move, right? I think that Terence Bud Crawford, number one, should not trust being able to get the fight with Canelo Alvarez, because Canelo Alvarez is going to be asking for astronomical money that I don't know if Turkey's going to be willing to pay. And Canelo Alvarez, by saying, oh, I'm open to the Terence Crawford fight, he could be stalling Terence Crawford. He could be working on the behest of Al Heyman to make Terence Crawford feel like he has hope, and then go into negotiations with Terence Crawford, have the WBO rescind their order for Crawford to fight Fundora, and then at the last minute Canelo Alvarez could go in another direction. Now Terence Crawford isn't the mandatory anymore, and Fundora is free to do what he want to do. So Terence Crawford has to be careful, because there's a lot of entities that are working against him. Just being real, keeping it 100 with y'all, because he is not in the best interest or the business interest of Premier Boxing Champions. He's just not, because he wants to fight a one-off deal. He's a very risky fight, obviously, for any of their fighters at 154 pounds. And if he's not going to sign to fight Fundora and then Tim Tszyu in a 2-fight deal, or Fundora and then Jermell Charlo in a two-fight deal, or something to where they feel like they can do multiple fights with him, then they're gonna go with what's in their best interest. So he has to be very careful to not overplay his hand. And I think him and his team, Bomac, Turkey Al-Sheikh, they need to stop stating so publicly that Terence Crawford only wants to fight Canelo Alvarez, because Sebastian Fundora's team could go to the WBO and say, look, he's not trying to negotiate. He's talking about Canelo Alvarez. We need y'all to rescind this order, postpone this order. So he has to be very careful with what he does moving forward, because we already saw this happen to him in the IBF at 147 pounds. He's stating publicly that he's not going to fight Jerome Boutines. Jerome Boutines brings nothing to the table, yada, yada, yada. And what does the IBF come and do? They come and they strip his ass, right? They take the belt from him. So he needs to stop overplaying his hand so publicly and just chill. And I think the best bet is Canelo Alvarez is not going to be ready to fight in December anyway. Canelo already has a fight in September. He's not coming back until next year, right? This is not the Canelo Alvarez that was fighting 3-4 times a year. He's getting older in his career. The last time he went on a run like that was when he was trying to hurry up and get undisputed back in 2021. When he turned around, he fought, he had the Callum Smith fight, I believe, and he hurried up and fought Abney Yildirim in February, Billy Joe Saunders in May, and turned around and fight Caleb Plant in October, where he had like 3-4 fights within a 12-month span. He ain't doing that shit no more, bro. He ain't doing that shit no more. So the safe assumption and the safe bet is you won't see Canelo Alvarez again until probably May, Cinco de Mayo. Or you may see him early next year. And if you do see him early next year, it's going to be like some form of a tune-up, right? So if you Terence Bud Crawford, I think the play for him is you got the fight order with Fundora. Don't waste your WBO order. Do everything you can to make the Fundora fight, because that order states that he got to fight you by December or vacate the belt. Do everything you can to get the Fundora fight made. If you get that fight made, you knock Fundora off. That makes you a 3-belt champion at 154 pounds. If you're able to knock him off. And then if you try to make the Canelo Alvarez fight, you can try to make the Canelo Alvarez fight. And if you're unable to make that fight, you can go after the winner of Tim Tszyu and Bakram Murtazaliev. It just makes sense and keeps his options open and makes him able to maneuver a little bit better than just saying, nah, I don't want the Fundora fight. I just want the Canelo Alvarez fight, right? Because you're not guaranteed to get the Canelo Alvarez fight. At least with Fundora, we know you're not guaranteed to get Fundora, but at least he either got to fight you or drop that belt. Canelo, there's no consequences of him not fighting you, right? So Fundora would either have to fight you or drop the belt. So you go after that, get it done, try to hurry up and fight him in December, and then you can still make the Canelo fight for next year. Now, the risks are there, right? Fundora is 6'5". He's very what's the word? He's a very difficult opponent to prepare for, and Terence Crawford is getting older. He's becoming easier to hit, not as slick, feet aren't as mobile. So you give Fundora a war with Terence Crawford. We'll see who can win a war of attrition, because we know that Fundora has a better work rate. He can throw up to 90 punches per round, but his defense is trash. The only question is, with his defense being trash, if Terence Crawford cracks him and catches him with some shots he don't see, can Terence Crawford hurt him and stop him? We know Brian Mendoza was able to knock him out. We know Erickson Lubin was able to put him down, but those are guys that are natural 154 pounders that, coming with some crack. They crack at 154. We don't know if Bud Crawford really cracked like that at 154, because his one fight at 154, Madrimov took his punches pretty well. Now, does Madrimov have a better chin than Fundora? Is he more tested than Fundora? He only had 10 fights. He hadn't been in the wars that Fundora has been in, so we won't know that shit until fight night. But the risk is you could either A, lose the fight, which I obviously favor Crawford in that fight, or B, you could take some punishment in that fight, have more wear and tear on your body, and at 37 years of age, he's no young spring chicken anymore. So there is a risk there, right? The other risk is if you drive too hard a line, Fundora and them may just drop the belt. And that's why I think Terence Crawford is in a tricky situation, right? He wants the Canelo Alvarez fight, but Canelo is going to demand some crazy amount of money to fight him. He's pursuing the Fundora fight, but with the way that Terence Crawford and Turki Al-Sheikh draw a hard line on negotiations, that could be tough over the next 30 days to get that fight done, because Premier Boxing Champions, Prime, they're not going to budge to Terence Crawford in Turkey, because the alternatives for Sebastian Fundora are so much better than the alternatives to Terence Bud Crawford, right? if you're Terence Bud Crawford and you don't make the Sebastian Fundora fight, where do you go from there? Right? Because everything else at 154 pounds is far more open to Sebastian Fundora than it is to Terence Bud Crawford. Meaning that if Fundora pulls out, if he ducks Terence Bud Crawford, because make no mistake about it, it will be a duck to pull out of the fight. But if he ducks Terence Bud Crawford, the only thing that Terence Crawford fans will have is, oh man, the PBC is ducking Bud. They don't want to make no fights with Bud. Bud Crawford is the boogeyman. And what after that? You just get to talk on social media. What's the fight if he don't get this Fundora fight done? We already see Canelo is very, very hesitant to fight him. He's drawing a hard line, and he wants all the money in the world to fight him based on his own words, right? Whereas Fundora, the alternative to not fighting Bud Crawford, Earl Spence in Dallas, Tim Tszyu rematch. Jermell Charlo is a PBC fighter. They still got Brian Castano over there. Jesus Ramos is over there. Erickson Lubin is over there for a rematch of a Fighter of the Year candidate if Erickson Lubin is able to continue to work his way back up and win. So the options for Sebastian Fundora are way more than the options for Terence Bud Crawford if this fight doesn't happen. If this fight doesn't happen and they force Fundora to drop his belt, the next in line for Terence Crawford to fight will be a Josh Kelly, who's number 2 in the WBO. He's number 2 in the WBO, and he already got beat up by somebody that Terence Crawford already stopped on BLK Prime and David Avenesian. So we know that that's not a fight that Terence Crawford is looking for at this point in his career. He wants big fights where he can make a ton of money before he gets out the game. So he's in a tricky situation. For me, I ain't advising Terence Crawford, you know what I mean? But if it's me, I do everything I can to make the Sebastian Fundora fight. Try to get that fight made, get that fight fought before the end of the year. And then try to see if I can pursue Canelo Alvarez. Then at least that way, if I don't get Canelo, if I'm Bud Crawford, I still got my 3 belts at 154 pounds, which will give me some leverage, which will make fans demand that Tim Tszyu fights me for undisputed at 154 pounds. Makes that fight even bigger. But if you don't get the Fundora fight and you're only sitting over there with 1 belt, bro, the demand for you to fight Tim Tszyu is not going to be there. People going to call for Tim Tszyu Fundora rematch because that was a great fight. A lot of people feel like Tim Tszyu would have won that fight if he hadn't gotten his eye cut open. So they would demand that fight. People would be cool with Fundora and Spence. No one would ask for those fights if you find a way to wrestle those 2 belts from Fundora. And the only way you do that is by getting this fight done in this 30-day window. So that's what I think of the situation. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Terence Crawford ordered to fight Fundora, but he's still chasing Canelo. He got to stop chasing Canelo so publicly. Give up that pursuit right now. Go for the Fundora fight. Get that fight done if he can get that fight done. And then once that shit is done, if he's able to beat Fundora, then you can try to pursue a Canelo Alvarez next year. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Comment below, smash the like, sub to the channel. See y'all soon. Peace.